Good evening, everybody. Dadman Walking 55 coming to you from our secret location, the secret lair, after a heck of a busy couple days and weekend, folks. It's been insane. Looking forward to hitting the road with the missus tomorrow, and let's see what happens. So hopefully, we get away, we all unwind, relax, and she enjoys herself. And yeah, who knows? Like she said, we might do something, we might not, but hey, most of all, get back, unwind, relax, escape from all the people around in the world. But speaking of people in the world, let me introduce to you, somebody that's going to sit in with me tonight that actually I think saw a little bit of the games that we talked about this weekend. It's the great JT Kirk. Hey, JT.
Hail, good evening. Yes, and
Hey.
though I'm from a different part of the world, I'm still in the correct time zone, which would be Eastern Standard Time. So we share
Oh,
that
we
at
always,
least, right?
absolutely. The only time zone is Eastern. Everybody should be forced to convert to Eastern. So, but
Exactly.
absolutely. Thanks for joining me tonight. It may be a little rushed, it may
Sure.
be a little abbreviated tonight, but JT's working on a chess code. I'm working on, well, we'll see whatever, which getting ready for tomorrow and all. You will notice one thing for sure. Mrs. Wonderful Graphics will not be up tonight. I am going bargain basement tonight. So, hey, not to say
It's
it
about the
reflects on the,
content, you know.
yeah,
I,
yes.
not that the pictures aren't great to have, but
Yes,
you know,
I love the pictures. Mrs. got me set up so well where I can do it easily. And of course, the comment about bargain basement has nothing to do with the co-host or the guest or the wonderful chat tonight. So,
well, I don't have a basement, and neither do you, but I could be had at a bargain.
okay. Don't forget Ollie's Discount Outlet.
Yeah,
Oh boy,
exactly.
where all
Exactly. The
Star
great
Wars merchandise goes to
I was
die.
just going to say
All right. Well, let's say hello to some of our people before they pass out, like this great human, or well, excuse me, bear from down in Florida. Hello, humans, other critters. Hello, Snora Poopas.
hey, Snorty.
Good to see you. And Corey Cochran, hail from the great bluegrass state of Kentucky. Hi, all. Boo Cats are doing good. Wow, lol. Yeah, I cannot believe they went and laid an egg in Gainesville. I actually picked the bastards. I forgot to even check my poll how I did last week. Well, we'll see together soon. I'll have to update the stats next week, folks. Tuesday turnaround after games on Saturday and after the weekend the missus and I had with getting ready to camp, move grandma's stuff. It's like, boy, there's not enough hours in the day.
Right.
So
Right.
exactly. And coming up when I do get back from work, I will be like temporary supervisor for about a week and a half. So I may be scarce.
No, you're going to be
So
the regional manager instead of the assistant to the regional manager now, right?
right, I like my existing position much better. So he can work late at night and I can go home. And here she is, the queen herself, the wonderful, the glorious Mrs. Dadman Walking. Mrs. I have some wonderful news for you tonight. You will be much happy with this as we get into it in just a second. And Atwood, what's up? How
Well,
are you, Atwood?
if I can say one thing real quick, I love
Sure.
watching Mrs. Dadman playing Lego
Hmm.
Fortnite because I try to play it and I just get frustrated and impatient. She makes it look effortless, and it's just fun to sit back and just kind of, take it in. So
Everything she
it's hard
does
to
is so smooth.
describe, but
I know.
it's chill. It's chill. It's nice.
I get frustrated too. I can't put the stupid thing. She's like, put it there. I'm like, I am. It won't put down. It won't. It's like, ugh.
My
But
thing
she
is
does
I
it.
hate having to find this resource over here, and then you gotta run over there, and you can only carry so much, and, I'm
Yeah.
like a hoarder when it comes to Fortnite. You've seen me play, and yeah, so
Yeah.
when it's like,
Well, my thing
"Oh,
with
I gotta put
Minecraft,
down." Yeah.
I played Minecraft before, but I'm like, I with Minecraft, I'm just like, I build and I like to fight the Skeletors, but this one is just,
Mhm,
I don't know. It's kind of like I just have not gotten into it. When I play Minecraft, I like the real thing.
mhm.
So, but hello, Citrus Lemon Pie. How are you tonight? Good to see you. And we got Cronus here tonight. Hey, Eastern Standard Time peeps. Yes, absolutely. As Snoropoopas is starting to work on his evening snooze. Lemon Pie says Central Time is the center. It's in the name. So, folks, I will be working from my phone tonight too. So like I just did, I hit the wrong button. So there'll be a few times that I'll have to take some time. Pinching pennies isn't a bad thing. No, no, it's not. Look, Curtis, Mrs. likes sports. She's shy about it, but I tell you what, go with her
Mhm.
to a hockey match. Oh
Right.
gosh, bloodthirsty, really. And
Yeah.
Mrs. says, thank you, JT, for your comments.
Oh,
So,
you're most welcome. I am
and
honored to be able to make them.
yeah.
So
And points out that Legos are wonderful to walk on, and Atwood says you got to get a little far in Lego Fortnite to get into it.
yeah,
Ah,
and yeah, sometimes you just go back to regular Fortnite because you're like, okay.
yeah. Oh, so let's kick this around. Is golf a sport?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a sport.
I see. I don't call it a sport.
It's
I think it's
definitely
a
a sport.
competition.
Hmm.
I think it's a competition because you're out there by yourself whacking a little ball around. You got nobody in front of you. It just I don't. It's I just it's solo. I don't know. I consider it more of a competition, kind of like bowling, you know.
Um,
But
oh boy, that gets into a real gray area, doesn't it? Do you consider running a sport?
no, no, that's just a
Okay,
waste of
neither do
time.
I. No,
I have
I
a
did I
coach.
did cross country
Yeah.
in middle school and in
Hmm.
high school and track and all that. Yeah, I mean it's tough. I just
Yeah.
don't consider it a
Wow.
sport. I'm not saying it's easy.
No, no, and,
It's an
and all
event.
respect to people that do it, but I had a coworker that once said he wouldn't even run in or we'd take the elevator too because he said he only had so many steps designated in life and he wasn't going to rush it along. So and Mrs. says some sports. So, but yeah, well, I say that too. If Lisa's ever around, I like to give a hard time about golf. Ryland Harris, welcome. Good to see you tonight. So
Now, what is
good
fun
to
is playing a scramble. Have you ever played a scramble?
no, I hate eggs. But by the way, Tina, hi
It,
Tina, good to see you.
it's like a team event. Then you have one person that does the tee shots, one person that does the putts, one person that does fairway.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be the putter guy on that thing in a scramble.
Oh, see, not me. I like to kill it off the tee, or
Well,
get
don't get
angry,
me
and
wrong. I like to kill it off the tee too, but I can't hit the ball right half the time.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
So yeah, it's okay. Let's see. Let me check on my Twitch side real quick. But yeah, see. I'm really snobby when it comes to sport things like golf and those tennis. Anything where you could go country club, I like to make fun at it. You know,
Hmm.
if you know what I mean. Uh, excuse me. Sorry, folks. Oops. Well, great. All
Now,
right.
is my
All right.
mute button not working at all here? You're hearing me, right?
Yeah, I hear you. Yes.
Yeah, okay. My mute button is not working, folks. So if I do cough, I'm going to try to hit the other mute button. I've got
Ah.
like three of them. So I just want to make sure before I go,
Yep.
making all kinds
Now,
of unpleasant noise in your
see,
ear.
mini golf is just fun. I like mini golf.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
it's oh yeah, it's mini golf is cool. Uh, especially some of your fancier courses. It's really neat. Bowling is not a sport; it's a competition. But then again, like some people say, when you can get drunk and get better, it's a competition.
I've played some pretty mean golf courses in Orlando, meaning
Hmm.
like putt-putt golf, or mini golf, however you want to think of it. And also, I've played a couple mean courses in Myrtle Beach, of
Oh
all
wow,
places.
South
So between
Carolina.
those two, yeah.
Yeah, that's a home of a lot of golf. And say lemon pie. Yes, and yes, yes. Good to see you tonight, Tina. Absolutely. So now, Sort of Poopa says chasing humans is both a sport and a way of getting fed. Dragons will always be a thing. Fishing a sport? Nah, not really. And here she
No,
is,
no.
Southern Belle, Gun Falls, Rocky Top. Congrats on the big win over Alabama this last weekend.
Right.
Let Southern Belle left a comment. You know how we usually do the Saturday show, JT?
Hmm.
Southern Belle was looking for a Saturday night.
Oh,
I was like, thank
it
you. I'm
just the stars did not align, but we really appreciate it that you were looking out for us.
absolutely. Well, I was at a memorial service the missus and I had attended for my boss's father. My boss just flew out today to go over to Cameroon, and it was a traditional Cameroonian type of celebration with dancing. It was really a happy affair celebrating his life. He was 102, so it was a time of joy and remembrance and lots of food. So, but yes, thank you for being here tonight, Southern Belle. We'll definitely hit some of that game tonight. Love to hear your insights. JT had to keep me updated on the end of that game because I was indisposed at the moment. But yes, Ryland says, "Do you consider fishing?" See, I think fishing's more a hobby or recreational thing than a sport. I
Oh
guess you
yeah,
can.
yeah, and we're not saying they're not easy or
Yeah,
that they're not difficult, right? That they don't take a lot of hard work and training and all that, but um,
yeah.
I just don't consider it a sport. Like most of
I
the
just like.
Olympic events,
Mhm,
like I don't consider shot put a sport,
right.
but it's a serious thing, right? So,
Yeah,
uh,
me, I'm getting old and cranky, and I'm like, whatever can annoy people, that's kind of what I go with. So, oh boy. So, what is the difference between a match and a game?
a match
Well,
is something that you light a candle with, and a game is something that you do on a board.
actually, in that case, you can use tennis as an example. The match is the whole number of sets completed. Games are the thing. Each you got like you get to seven to win a set, and you win two or five sets in a match. So a match is a bigger overall event versus a game, which could be a smaller parts of a larger thing. Now, but then again, it depends also on what term you mean. Like football, it's a game. Hockey, it's a game. Although I've heard match used with hockey, so but the best way I can think of it is where there's a difference is definitely tennis. So, because you have rounds and you have a
Mhm.
golf match. So, all right. Hey, Wes Cagle. Hey, he's like you. Can never be the putter. Get on the green in two on a short par five, end up with a seven for the hole every
Yep,
friggin' time.
yep, yep. Yeah, I know.
And matching game is where you live. Match game is also the great old Gene Rayburn show from the 70s. Oh gosh, have you ever seen Match Game?
I
No,
have, yeah, on
the
one of
the old the
those
old
old classic game show
okay,
channels.
the
Yeah.
the real old one, not the Alec Baldwin retweet.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
no,
gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
and thank you, Mrs. So, and don't forget, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, we gotta get some of our subs back. That hey, also make sure you go subscribe to the Mrs. too. Mrs. Put your link in there. Be sure to because she's only 234 away from 500 on YouTube.
Woohoo.
Yay! Go Gators! And we'll talk some about that. Miss Martin Muses, hello. How are you tonight? Good to see you tonight. So, fishing is human versus fishies. Exactly. What about sharks? Well, Mrs. Dad used to do deep sea fishing, so I know there's some competitions with, your bass tournaments or sometimes
Now,
going out on the
hurricane
charters.
question for you. You had tornadoes, and there are
Yes.
sharks. Did you have any sharknadoes?
Not yet.
Does
Not
that make
yet.
it like a Cat 6 storm if you end up getting the sharknadoes?
I would like to see Sharknadoes personally. I think that'd be kind of cool, but hey, it's cool. Corey, how did UK win three times? How the hell did UK win at Ole Miss, beat Ole Miss on the road, and then proceed to dump this Kentucky team is just they nearly beat Georgia at home, beat Ole Miss on the road, then they get bombed by Florida this weekend. I have no clue. I have no clue how they did it. Mrs. said that heard matches used in sports that originated in the UK and game those originated in the US. That's possible. I'm not sure. So haven't seen Jaws in years. Yeah, the ride at Universal was great, 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 great.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. So we are 15 minutes in. So let's get into the action tonight. We're going to take a
Now we
look.
can
If you
swear.
Yes, we can swear. If you want to go ahead and pull up the, oh, you did already there. Let's
Yeah.
see. Wes Cagle here was 3-year varsity of both winter and spring track in high school. Ran the 55 meters, 110 meters, 400 meter hurdles. outside the 800 meter. I truly think the 400-meter hurdles is the toughest running event in the sport.
Mhm.
Hey, anytime you got to get off the ground, it's tough. Look at me. I lived my basketball career on the floor. Everything 3-point flat shots out the back. Uh, Nearly beat Georgia. Well, wait a second, Atwood. You guys, I can't believe that y'all happened to do it. And hello to hanging with Erica and Ralph. Good to see you tonight. Hey, I saw them a while back over at Lorena's show when Lorena had me on. And hey, good to see you. Glad you could make it for one of our sports nights. Normally I do this on Wednesday nights, but with the missus I heading out of town tomorrow, we bumped it up here. So, and
Right.
JT was willing to come on. So let's see. What's sad is there are a ton of in-state players who can help them, but they almost never pick them up. No, they go to Florida, California, Texas. They go everywhere else to find players. But hey, the quarterback for Kentucky is the old Georgia Bulldog quarterback who couldn't crack the starting lineup. So Brock Vandegrift is now the quarterback in Kentucky, and wow, some very bad performances. So yep, this is a sports night tonight, but hey, we're gonna have fun. We make it fun. So let's for people like Atwood and Southern Bell out there that I know have teams in this fight, folks. You're gonna love this week's top 25, JT. There are surprises in this week's top 25, aren't there?
I believe there are. I believe
All
there are
right.
a few pleasant ones, in fact.
And let's go ahead and scroll back up. Oh, you got a better
Sure.
angle. So, folks, we're going to look at them side by side, and you can get the comparisons between the AP and the coaches poll. This week, Oregon moves up as undefeated team, with Georgia moving into the second spot this week. Honestly, folks, I do not agree with this. I think that Georgia should have been number one again after having gone on the road to Austin and a hellacious place to have to go on the road and won that game in spite of the starting quarterback Carson Beck with 3 interceptions. Oregon, my friends, beat a 1AA Idaho Vandals this year, 24-14. JT, you're a Big Ten fan. I think
I
Oregon is a fake and a fraud. I really do. I
I
think
was
that
just gonna
they
laugh at you and say that you're just angry and you're jealous because this Big Ten team of Oregon is number one. So
Oh, yes.
and,
Yeah.
and
Oh, well,
so yeah,
yeah,
but I would
with
agree with you. I would agree with you. Yeah. I look at who
mm,
they've played. One of those wins is against a very mediocre Michigan State team, and a couple other opponents that I could lump in there as well. So
yep.
if I look at strength of schedule, I I see why they did it though, because Oregon has 0 losses and Georgia has a loss. Even though
Let me say
I believe
real
Georgia
quick.
has a tougher schedule by far.
Let me say to Erica and Ralph real quick. Hey, thanks. I hope you can get us another night when you can more. I love teaching football. JT and I will be back on Saturdays. Not this Saturday, unless somehow I get reception and permission
Mhm.
to use the Mrs. Computer. But yeah. But thank you, and yeah, keep turning out. Keep catching these, and also watch the replays of these shows too. Pick up some stuff. But absolutely, love teaching new people, and especially if you have questions, feel free to ask it at any time. So absolutely, even questions like this. Snoots watches Sports in the Cold. I'm not sure. You have to ask him.
It's probably
I
not that
know
cold for him. It's probably a nice, warm, balmy day for him, just
it.
with
Yeah,
that extra layer of fat and the way the fur goes and all that. He's probably like, "Oh,
yeah.
can someone turn a
Well,
fan on?"
I'm not happy with this. I'll have to talk about that when we get to the Gators later. So hey, uh, yeah,
So yeah, back to Oregon and
yep,
Georgia taking up 1 and 2. I think Oregon needs to play all the way through without a loss to justify being that number one, where Georgia
yeah.
could come away with having that 1 loss and still do it, just because at this point in the season, Georgia's had a tougher schedule. Yeah, I believe that. I know these
Yeah.
others put them at number 2. I think it's just because of that 1 loss.
Georgia had to go on the road at Alabama. They had to go on the road to Austin. They also have to go on the road to Oxford, Mississippi. So,
Hmm.
um, and just because, and of course, the one loss Georgia had was that game at Alabama where they fell down 30-7 at halftime. but then came back and actually had the lead until the breakdown at the end of the game, which you know allowed Alabama to win the game. They actually drove back down, but fell short on the drive. So, all
But
right,
if
take
you
care,
wanted to,
Cronus.
see you, Kronos.
Yeah,
If you want to talk frauds, number 3 takes the cake. I do
yeah.
not think. What are they doing putting Penn State there? I just do not like it. Ohio State, yeah, at
Well,
4.
see, Penn State. Penn State. I've heard James Franklin's name associated with the University of Florida. Also, I'm mixed with him because he did good work at Vanderbilt, but only took them so far. Penn State, he always loses to Ohio State and Michigan, so they never win anything in the Big
Right,
12. But
right, right.
and I've heard somebody call them like Ole Miss. They actually referred to Ole Miss as the Penn State of the SEC because they're always can never win the big games and
That
always in a
close.
third and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
It was a nice shot. So, Texas falls to fifth in this with an AP and sixth in the coaches poll with the loss to Georgia, which was really an interesting game. Miami was fifth and sixth. They different places. The Canes is the U back. We will see. They've had some good luck go with their way, some good officiating too. But hey,
It's just
seventh.
interesting
Yeah,
seeing Miami being that high.
I know.
It
It's folks.
How long has it
That's
been?
how since the '80s and mid '90s,
Yeah.
mid late '90s. That was the last time the university was that high. But speaking of teams being that high, look at that. Southern Bell's Tennessee comes in at 7 in the coaches poll, the AP, 8 in the coaches poll tonight. Uh,
Rocky Top.
yeah, exactly. Just it's really just a very interesting team. We'll talk about the game in just a minute. I forgot West Cago's Penn State, JT.
Yeah,
Ah,
unfortunate.
I know. So we will talk about the SEC teams. That's our focus tonight. But sometimes when we do talk about the top 25s, we do like to talk a little bit about what's going on around the country. We've got BYU up to 11 and 12. Iowa State at 10. If you go ahead and slide on down, here's a dark horse team in the SEC, folks. You have LSU up at 7 and 8 in the polls, but Texas A&M at 6 and 1, at 14th in both polls, folks. Guess who? If the SEC championship game was held today, who would it be? It would be LSU and Texas A&M, the two unbeaten conference teams. Believe it or not, that's a shock.
That
Uh,
is that is so odd. But whoever won that would potentially still get a lower seed than whoever Georgia, Texas.
yeah,
Yeah, they would still get passed over by the committee. Just watch. Right.
absolutely. Well, hey, at least Alabama's not getting love. They dropped 8 spots for that close loss to Tennessee, though. But what I'm hearing is there's a lot of chaos in that Tuscaloosa though these days. A lot of infighting. They
Mhm.
already want the coach gone. Sounds like me with Billy Napier, but we've had 3 years of that experiment. But
Yeah, there's no already in that. You gave him 3 years. That's plenty of
yeah,
time.
but they're already out. One of the receivers had a retweeted something and took it off Twitter, but the screenshot was there. Uh, you'd
The
see
internet's
the deliver.
forever. People don't
Yeah,
realize it. Yeah.
exactly. Speaking of that, Ole Miss, who Lane Kiffin has been trolling his own fans, having pictures of Gators going out on game day, has fallen to 18th in the country. So we got wonderful Missouri is its 21st in the AP, 17th in the coaches poll. While we have, there's a surprise in what's great for the misses. Army Navy is 23, 24. We have both the two service academies that matter, Air Force, occasionally. The Army Navy are in the top 25, along with, yes, your eyes are not mistaking you, folks. Vanderbilt at 25.
Oof.
How about that? The
Yeah.
team the team that
Wow.
has 12 road games a year because every time they play at home, they're outnumbered by the opposition.
Yes. Especially if they play Tennessee, right?
Yes, exactly. And Corey, I see this comment. I'm going to come back to this in just a moment as we get into some of the games. So that's our top 25, folks. Very interesting. You see, good old Illinois is still in there, and Indiana is up to 13 for you Big 12 folk, Big 10 folks. So I know JT's favorites like Notre Dame are in there, up
Yeah,
there in
but
the
I
top 10.
like I agree with AP at putting them lower. So coaches
Yeah,
polls a little too generous to Notre Dame.
yeah.
So
Wes Cagle is asking if is a loss to Vanderbilt far worse for Alabama than a loss to Tennessee. Yes,
yes,
yes, it
oh
is.
yes,
This would be like Rutgers beating Ohio State. I think honestly, but probably even worse than that.
I think
I'm
it's even
trying to,
worse than that. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, but I'm trying to get some comparison for West on there. So when we comparison, we use New Jersey. So,
it's like
but
Appalachian State beating Michigan,
yeah, it was
which did
beyond
happen.
exactly. So. All right, folks. Well, let's see. All right. Well, JT, if you want to, I'm gonna pull that down. We're going to
You
look
want me
at
to
last
shift
week's
it?
game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you take that down. So, folks, like I said, I am working off the phone and other things tonight. So let's take a look at last week's games. What is today anyway?
I can pop up week 8 if you like.
Yeah, yeah. Pop up week 8 and bring up SEC, and we'll look at the games
SEC.
like that. So,
There we
all
go.
right. This is the good night to Snortopoopas. All
Good
right.
night,
So let's
Florida
go
Purpose.
ahead. All right. Thanks to JT Kirk. I usually just use ESPN.com out of to make things easy for us. As you look here, Georgia goes on the road to Austin, Texas, wins this game. The fifth-ranked Bulldogs win at Georgia, win 30-15. One of the interesting things in this game is you look at Quinn Ewers, ended up throwing for 211 yards, but I had heard that he was really bad and all over the place. At least at one point, they actually put Arch Manning in for a couple series,
I saw that.
who did not, who was even worse than Ewers.
Yeah, it didn't
I mean,
move the needle, but you and I were talking about that over the weekend. Like, these teams are getting bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of revenue, and the sport is just growing into a, I don't know what you would want to call it, a AAA version of the NFL, where they're just one
yeah,
step lower, and sit the players, right? Sit them.
hmm
They're paid professionals now. Sit them. Put somebody else in. Let them
well,
know that their spot's not guaranteed and get their head back in the game.
well, and I hope Southern Bell's still with us because be curious what a Tennessee fan would have with the comment I'm going to make when we talk about that game. Because, I mean, you could also make the same case with Carson Beck through 3 interceptions, and yet Georgia still won this game. He was 23 of 41, 175 yards, 3 interceptions on the day. Trevor Etienne ran for 87 yards, 4.6 per carry, but he also scored 3 touchdowns for the Dogs. Really, I was surprised Georgia went on the road and pulled it out. Ewers was 25 of 43 for 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Georgia managed to hold Texas to only 29 yards rushing. Really, I was surprised to see so much, but then again, we understand why Georgia is very good. Their defense carries them many times. When the offense struggles, the defense leads the way, and
Yeah,
still for
15
years.
points.
Yep.
That's how is that even a football score?
2-point conversion at one point.
Yeah,
I
or
know.
or
I know.
safety. Yeah.
I know. So Georgia actually led this game 23-0 at halftime, uh, on the strength of 3 field goals. So, but then Texas rallies a little in the second half with the 15 points, pulled to within 8. But then Georgia adds a Trevor Etienne 1-yard run in the fourth quarter to seal the game. Texas started out as a favorite in this game. Georgia ended up taking over. Georgia amassed 283 yards of offense, 259 yards for Texas. But you know what? For such a game, it's something. It's not surprised. These top matchup games either turn out to be really good or some really bad. And look at this: 283 offense for Georgia, 259 for Texas. 7 turnovers between the two teams: 3 for Georgia, 4 for Texas. I'm just like, wow. I mean, you can say good defense, but when you still have 7 turnovers, at some point, it's not the defense.
Right. Yeah, it's lack of ball control and lack of discipline.
Yeah. but Georgia overcame it and held on for the win. So, all right. So, and like I said, I will be. I was surprised that Georgia won this game. I've seen games at Texas. I saw Alabama a couple years ago play on the road, uh, and they struggled, but they did hold on to win that game. It was looks like one of the craziest places to play if you are on the road.
One of the
All
things
right. So
I'd like to see in that game is what class most of the players are in. I'd be willing to bet Georgia is probably edging over Texas on seniors and super seniors and juniors on some of that, and so they've had more exposure to playing those types of games. Just
yeah,
willing to venture a guess that that's probably the case.
I think Texas is returning a lot of times, but that's interesting. Have to look that up
Mhm.
sometime. But yeah, those are kind of good things because nowadays it's the Wild West with the transfer portal, the NIL. These teams jump. That's like when I started the season off. I mean, I'm seeing people from the southeast and northwest, the north come to the southeast. It was like, what the heck? It's like Ghostbusters, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Let's get into the game of the week. To a lot of people, it's known as the third Saturday in October. The Alabama Crimson Tide go on the road to Rocky Top. Seventh ranked Bama went on to face 11th ranked Tennessee in this game. Tennessee, for the third week in a row, 0 points in the first half. Three
That was
weeks in a
rough.
row.
That was so rough.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm like, I mean, we had a 7-0 game with Alabama leading at halftime. I mean, not just one, not two, not three times, and that's led to a lot of chaos up in well, a lot of frustration to Tennessee fans up there. I've listened to the radio, and they're concerned about the offense. Is it conservative play calling? Is it the freshman quarterback? I mean, they're really, really. I can understand it. They had a great offense 2 years ago with Heupel, with Hendon Hooker coming in. They used to throwing the ball, and it's like right now Nico is just barely overthrowing on all the big throws, the downfield throws, and it's just like as a Gator fan, I'm like, I'll take your coach and your quarterback in a heartbeat.
mhm.
But it's like, but and then that always happens, when the grass is green on the other side, but it isn't always. But uh,
No, you'll do pretty
I
well in
w-
the regular season a lot of times
mhm,
against opponents that maybe you don't need to play a complete 4 quarters, but once they get into a playoff situation, you
yeah,
you can't show up with nothing in the first half and expect
and
to
see
win.
this
You need to
this is
play
one thing.
4 complete quarters on
Yeah,
both sides of the ball, and I know that sounds very John Madden about it, but, I
hmm
mean, really, it's true. Speaking
well,
as a Lions fan for a number of
my
years,
word to
how
Tennessee
many
fans.
times do you see them
Yeah,
play 3.5 quarters and then just
yeah.
go in the locker room 10 minutes before the end of the game
uh,
thinking, "We got
yeah.
this, guys," and they don't.
Well, don't get me started on lines in NFL with the Cowboys. I mean, that's a different disaster there. But I will say the thing that I try to tell Tennessee fans to take some comfort in: you have a real head coach. Yeah, I mean the play calling is weird at times. I know there's some frustration with play calling and things like that at times, but your coach can make halftime adjustments. Like in this game, like against Florida, scoreless, but they came out, they adjusted, they did enough to get offense to work. This week against Alabama, you got to respect Alabama for even though that they've struggled on defense the last few weeks. They came together in this game, but Heupel was able to find things to do to set the offense up. Dylan Sampson runs for another 140 yards in this game. Brute McCoy caught for 80 yards. Uh, so it's just, I,
I did actually
I
get to watch this on
yeah,
TV. I'm more
yeah,
of the second half than the first half. I'm glad I was kinda doing other things for most of that first half because,
yeah.
I didn't miss a whole ton. But, that 4th quarter, man, this was an exciting game to watch, first off. It really
hmm
was. Secondly, like, I felt myself getting invested in this game, and I'm only a Tennessee fan just so I can pick an SEC team to root for, really.
Yeah.
Um it's just kind of like that, right? And I have family that lives in Tennessee as well, so I'm just like, okay, I'll pick them. So I was
And
getting
you don't like
excited.
Alabama either.
Well, yeah. So then, especially this week, this was an easy choice. But I was,
Alabama's like Notre Dame and Penn State to you, right?
oh yeah, oh.
All right.
But anyway, so it was exciting till the end. It really was. And Tennessee, they had the risk of potentially losing the game or sending it to overtime in that final real play of the game where Alabama threw that interception and Tennessee came up with the ball was just a sweet way to end that game.
Right.
Just yeah, yeah. So
One area of concern for Tennessee is Max Gilbert, the new kicker this year, was only 1 of 3 for, uh, you know, will the this is a trend for the kicking game? Will they or was this just a bad game for him? Because he missed a couple makeable field goals in this game, which could have I got Tennessee on track early and and made it not so close near the end. So, um, like I said, this is the third week in a row, third game in a row. Tennessee started out with no points in the first half. Just but I think what really helped with Tennessee this game was that Dylan Sampson, the running back, is just a monster. 26 carries, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns in the game. He had 3 touchdowns against Florida the week before.
mhm.
He's just producing massive amounts of offense and scoring for this team. And when your passing game fails you, can you run the football? Especially against a team like Alabama. Tennessee ran for 214 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry.
Oh, it was crazy just
Yeah,
watching it. It was like they could do anything against that Alabama defense where normally, teams don't try that run game like they do. But hey, like I said, it was
Alabama.
a great watch. And when people are running 5 yards a carry, that's a fun thing to watch.
Well, we'll have to talk about this coming up in a little bit, West Cagle. 2 losses in the last 3 games, one to Vanderbilt. Do they right ship and beat Missouri this coming up week?
Yeah, we'll get
Well,
to it. We'll
we'll have
get
to
to it.
see. Because
Great
is
question.
Missouri, we'll see that later when we talk about Missouri. It could be very, very interesting times for both of those schools. Uh, but LSU, so there you go, Rocky Top. Congratulations. Still not out of it. Well, a lot of the talk about this game was whoever lost, would they be out of the national playoff picture, not just the SEC picture. Some people thought that if Tennessee lost, they would be out of it from a national playoff standpoint. They could not overcome a second loss. Alabama, they think could. So we'll see what happens. We'll see
Well,
what
they want
happens.
the TV dollars for Alabama to go. So
You are such a
of course,
skeptic.
Alabama will overcome
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Well, a
yeah,
game we're not going to spend much time in. Eighth ranked LSU goes on the road to Fayetteville, Arkansas, beats the Pigs 34-10. Um, LSU
yeah.
keeps moving on along. One loss earlier this year in non-conference game with USC, which is really looking like a bad loss now. But LSU, like as I said in our next game, Texas A&M beats Mississippi State 34-24. There's your two unbeaten's. Their SEC championship game as of today would be LSU and Texas A&M, and nobody had that one. I will say I did struggle. I ended up with Georgia and Ole Miss as my projection in the SEC championship game,
Mhm.
but I really struggled with LSU. I but I was sold on Mississippi. I bought the Kool-Aid again, but LSU was the other team that I was having trouble. But LSU, I inspired Garrett Nussmeier has thrown a lot of picks this year, but he still comes back,
I
still
don't
throws the
trust
ball
them.
around the field.
I
Yeah.
don't trust them.
Well, you might trust Michael Van Buren, the Texas A&M the Mississippi State quarterback, but they keep putting up good numbers now offensively. But they lost again to the Aggies, who were on the road. Texas A&M makes escape Starkville and the Cowbells with a 10-point win. Uh, of course, another game we're going to skip over is South Carolina at Oklahoma. South Carolina wins this game 35-9. It was like 23-0 in the first half. They benched the freshman quarterback who weeks ago actually had a good fourth quarter against Tennessee, and everybody thought he was the second coming. And all his career long, well, he has done nothing but struggle. Oklahoma, who once was known for great offenses, now can't score. They score less than Florida, but give credit to South Carolina going on the road, a very Jekyll and Hyde team. Some great wins and some ugly losses there they have. Uh, we got some resident Auburn fans, but they're not in the chat tonight. But hey, we got
War
Auburn.
Eagle.
Yeah, found a way to lose again on the road at 19th ranked Missouri. Loses this game. Just lose. It's just they had the lead 17 to nothing.
Now,
They had the lead.
in my mind,
Yeah.
everything ranked 16 or below is very beatable. Like
Yeah.
once you start getting out of the top 10, but even I kind of draw the line at 15th ranked teams. Those games, you expect an unranked team to always pretty much lose. To me,
hmm
a 19th team is just kind of there. Auburn had any chance. Like I would just look at that number and say, okay, whatever.
No.
That does
Well,
that
Auburn
doesn't
had a
mean much.
chance. Auburn had the lead for most of the game in here. Uh, Actually, this hit the wrong button, like I said from the phone. Yeah, this was a game that Auburn should have won. That's a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas with Auburn this year, and I've heard basically that's Peyton Thorne's career in a nutshell. What
Mhm.
could have been would have been.
Yep.
He hits Cam Coleman for a 47-yard touchdown pass. Uh, but see, what 7 of their 17 points was a defensive touchdown, a fumble recovered in the end zone, basically. So go figure. Then let's see. This game started 3-0. Then of course Auburn went up 17-3, took a 17-6 lead into the fourth quarter. Brady Cook missed part of the game, but then came back in the fourth quarter, engineered 2 touchdown drives for the final margin of 21-17 for Missouri. Now, uh, of course, with Wes' question here now about Alabama, 2 losses in the last 3 games. Missouri's had some very close calls lately, and let's see. We will talk about this when we get up to the matchup
Right.
because
Right.
look at the past performance has not been stellar for either team. Um, a game that I'm going to kind of skip over, and the missus might not like it, but I tell you, this is the problem with the Cinderella team, Vanderbilt.
Right. It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
come on. I mean, at least they lost to Georgia State. Okay, you can get that they lost on the road to Missouri in overtime. Okay, fine. But this team would have only be like 5-1, 6-1 if they would have beat flipping Georgia State. This game they're at home. Ball State comes in, which is not a very good team from the MAC, and struggles to win this game 24-14.
Yeah.
Just
So, what after I guess this week, where do you think Ball State ranks in their conference?
probably next to last, I think.
They are ninth out of 12 in the conference, and they are 2-5 overall.
Wow.
So,
In
and
this
that's in the
game,
MAC,
folks,
folks. That's not we're not talking SEC, Big Ten, BCS
yeah.
bowl conference type stuff.
And folks, this game is tied at 14 entering the fourth quarter. That's how close Vanderbilt got. But this Vanderbilt is a team that could actually be 7-0, win that game on the road at Missouri, beat Georgia State.
Yeah.
That's when, as a Vanderbilt fan, you're like, why couldn't we? Why this? And actually, had they beat Georgia State, they would have had 6 wins now and be bowl eligible. So let's see. They got to win one more game to get bowl eligible. So we shall
They'll
see.
do it. They'll do it.
They don't play Florida this year. So speaking of that, I don't understand this. I was not. This is like one of those paycheck games. I did not want to watch Florida play Kentucky because Kentucky has actually dominated Florida in recent years pretty badly. This was a game where Florida had dominated the series, only losing like 3 times over the course of 30 years. And then in the last 6 games, at one point, Kentucky had a 3 win in a row, 3-4 against the Gators, making them not look good. So, but give them credit, give the Gators credit. DJ Lagway comes out, throws for 259 yards. This looks like, well, here's the problem. It's never a problem when your team wins. This game was at 27-20 in the third quarter, so it was a game till Florida ran away with it near the end, including Cormani McLean had a 29-yard interception return that gave the final 7 points.
But
Jade
you know,
Ball, man, had a big day for the Gators with 5 touchdown runs. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, JT.
The thing about these types of games is that you beat these opponents that are not ranked, and the coach is on the hot seat, and then you just put away a team in your conference when it doesn't matter because neither one of you are doing anything for the rest of the year, and then the
Yeah,
coach sticks around, and
yeah.
then you don't get to move your program in a
I
completely new
exactly.
direction. So
Florida
this
is
was
4-3 right now. 4-3. We didn't fire a coach. Get this. This is not Florida offense. Lagway threw for 259 yards, but he only completed 7 passes. They only attempted 14 passes. That ain't going to beat Georgia. That ain't going to beat Alabama. That ain't going to beat Tennessee. I
that's
just
what, like 3 1/3 pass attempts a quarter.
Jade
One
Ball's
touchdown.
22 carries for 106 yards, just under 5 yards a carry. But I'm like, I don't know. This program needs to change at the top. I've said it. I will still believe it, even if somehow they beat Georgia, which I know they won't. This is actually a team that actually could be bowl eligible if they won one more game, and then of course they will probably beat FSU at the end of the season. But between then and all then there, I don't see this team winning another game.
Now
Uh,
there is a little bit to this when you look at games like this and you look at, what they need to do to retain the coach and move forward or replace the coach and move forward. You see this, it could go either way, right?
yeah.
I remember Michigan for the longest time was just awful under Jim Harbaugh. Could not
Mm,
beat Michigan State, could not beat Ohio State, would split the baby
mhm,
with Wisconsin and Penn State. They'd have those 3 losses a year, and we'd always joke about how Michigan had never been to the Big Ten conference championship game for like the first decade, because they had Jim Harbaugh there, and he won just enough to keep him,
mhm.
and he would win games just like
Yep.
this one. He would, and
Oh,
then
I.
at the end, even though he cheated like a big fat cheater pants that he is, he got him all the way to the Natty, right?
Yep.
So,
And then
um,
ran off. So
and then of course, I would expect nothing less from him.
yeah.
He's a
Well,
Michigan.
speaking of running off, this is Corey Cochran's onto something here because there is rumblings about Mark Stoops wanting out of Louisville or retiring. He's the winningest coach in program history, past Bear Bryant. He actually did that against Florida last year, the year before, and but there is smoke with that. There's also rumblings that the fans are tired of him just being average. He never mind. He's the most successful coach in program history. They're just average. Look what they brought in Brock Vandergrift, the transfer from Georgia.
Mhm.
The offense is still the same, boring, run heavy. Maybe you complete a couple passes a game type offense. It's hard to watch. It really does not bear any excitement. Brock Vandergrift at 12 for 26, 165 yards, a touchdown and 2 picks. So,
But
but yes, yeah,
sometimes that's
I,
just the culture that you have at the school and the organization. The boosters are okay with it. And as long as the money keeps coming in, why would the athletic director change anything? Right. They hit
see
their
Corey.
business model. And so 8 wins a year is good enough. Right.
Corey is hitting right here. He thinks that Stoops will stay for a few years still. And this is the thing: you got fans used to being mid. They got used to winning some and being okay. Now they want to win. Exactly, that's true. That happens. Yep,
The
you
problem
get
is
rid of
in
that losing.
college, it's tough to do because you don't get to keep players and, draft capital and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you have no
Mrs.
choice.
Have fun sautéing the onions and peppers.
Oh,
So
sounds great.
exactly.
That
She
sounds great.
she does all of her. She does so much of camp prep ahead of time. I'm like I'm last minute.
Well,
It
you don't
drives
wanna
her
work
crazy.
when you're out camping, you wanna enjoy yourself, so
Oh, I like to
hey, but
work
that's
because it gives
smart.
me something to
Yep.
do. I told her I'd wash dishes and everything. It gives me something to do. Saute away, lemon pie said. So, All right. Well, that's this last week's games, folks. That was it in a nutshell. So we can flip over to the
Shift
week
till
coming
week
up, though.
9.
Actually, can you flip back to that one real quick?
Sure. Week 8.
Yeah.
Not a
Let me
problem.
see. I can tell you. I took Georgia. I took Tennessee. I took LSU. I took A&M. I took Missouri. I can't remember if I took Scar or Oklahoma. I think I might have been. Can't remember if I took Scar or Oklahoma, but I think I
You
might have
you
been.
you prob you probably took the Gamecocks,
Yeah, I
likely.
think I'm 8-0. I think I was 8-0 last week. I had to compare it to last week's record. So hey, cool.
I
It'd be
flubbed
nice for
the
me to have
Texas
a.
Georgia game.
You
So,
did what?
I flubbed that one. I thought Texas was gonna win at home,
Yeah.
but hey.
See, and this is the thing that Corey, a ton of players would say have the skill. It take 2 to 3 years, but it can be done. That's what's changing in college football. There's no longer the time, the patience with the transfer portal, where people just transfer a drop of a hat, or the NIL, where what schools can pay the most. That is changing a lot of it. And the pressure, these coaches don't want to wait for players 2 to 3 years to develop. And like I was going to say earlier, and I missed it when we were talking about Tennessee, Alabama. I thought that Tennessee. Now they did put in Gaston Moore for one play, and he threw a bomb down the field, but it was picked off. It was a bad decision, but he only got one play because Nico got dinged up for a play. I thought in that game Nico should have been benched in the first quarter, for considering it's a third game in a row with no points in the
Mhm.
first half.
Oh,
Just to
completely
sit him for a
reasonable.
little bit to watch the game, take it from the side. That's the coaches used to do stuff like that. You used to bench a quarterback when they were struggling, but you know what? It didn't mean he wasn't a starter the next time. There's like everybody insists if you bench a quarterback, then you automatically have a controversy, and I don't agree
Oh,
with
you do it
that.
in high school without even blinking, right?
Yeah, well, I think Dak Prescott should sit his ass on the bench of quite a few times for the Cowboys. I mean, he get paid what
But he
he
makes
gets.
too much money to warm
I don't
warm the
care.
seat.
Sit his ass on the bench. Nobody's above discipline and stuff. Punishment. You just enjoy your paycheck, dude.
Right.
Like, I, you sit here with getting paid that much money. You should not be scoreless or 10 points every friggin' game. Down 20 points at home 4 times in a row. Like I saw the stat the other day. You know what? Even if your defense sucks, you are paid that much to perform. You should be putting up in a track meet as much as the opposition. That's what I'm saying, though. That's where I don't like where this is going with this. Well, we can't sit our quarterback. Hell, And I thought
Mhm.
Tennessee missed an opportunity. I thought that Gaston Moore should have played a series or two in the first half. But when they started in the second half, and of course that's why he's paid, not me, they stuck with Nico. Nico got in a rhythm, led by the running game, and they were able to get the offense going in the second half. So,
Right.
hey, all right.
And let's
Yeah,
see
go
here.
ahead.
Shifting on to the next week, folks, I did zoom in a little bit further than maybe you'd like to see all the games in the week. I just wanted to cover up that betting info. I know Dadman's channel is a no gambling, no betting channel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We
Thank you for
just, I
reminding.
wanted to exclude that where
Yes.
possible. So,
Thank you
uh,
for reminding me
yeah.
about that. I forgot about the disclaimers and stuff. So hopefully, I hit all your teams tonight. Y'all like what I said. Hopefully, we get more. I actually had two newer people with us tonight. Hopefully, y'all come back if y'all are not still here. And like I said, Saturday we may or may not do something. It just depends on my Wi-Fi ability or if I'm having fun with the family. Mrs. takes the priority this weekend, as you know. And actually, as it turns out, it's a good week for me to have a break if I need to,
Oh,
because
good.
this is how bad it is. Alabama Misery is a 3:30 game on ABC. Uh, and they got
Yeah.
Oklahoma Old Piss at noon. Oh my God,
On
that's gonna be
ESPN.
horrible.
Yep.
That's gonna be horrible. I mean,
So if I had to pick one, oh gosh,
oh
I
my
would say
gosh.
Ole
I
Miss.
mean,
Ole Miss
I
at
usually,
home.
I
Oklahoma had
usually,
that bad loss last week, and I don't
yeah.
see them, pulling the airplane above the horizon at all
Well, let
coming
me
into
see
this one
something
on the
real
road.
quick. Let me see if these two teams have ever matched. Winspedia.com is a site that I check that has, let's see, let's see, okay, so we got Oklahoma and Ole Miss. Let's see. We got Oklahoma, and we got Ole Piss. So,
While you're doing that, Corey Cochran says he's trying to figure out what to do for the next few days as he waits for the parts to come in for his truck. So,
ah,
um, well, you
oh
may be
man,
looking elsewhere than some of these games. I'm not seeing a
uh,
matchup here.
yeah.
That's
See, Wes Cagle said, but and then this is right. Peyton Manning and Troy Aikman showed their worth in the first year when the teams were terrible, went more than 15. When you paid big bucks, you need to perform. Yeah, and I agreed. And there's always patience with the first year quarterbacks. My thing, and JT knows, is when you somebody like Dak Prescott has been around as long as he has been touted this thing, getting these super huge, not just an average contract, but these to be paid among the highest, and you haven't even won an NFC championship game. It's
Mhm.
so bad that Packers fans troll you like crazy because they're the
Oh,
ones that always eliminate you in the playoffs. It's really 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 bad. So, but West Cago, even at 3-13, that was still rough. Ole Miss and Oklahoma has only met one time in this series, a 27-25 win by Ole Miss, which was probably in a bowl game, the Independence Bowl.
likely.
The
Yeah,
Pooh
likely.
Land Weed Eater Independence Bowl, folks. If we do a bowl stream this year, we got to talk about the bowl games names, the
Problem is doing bowl
corporations.
stream bowls the bowl season now with the whatever 50, 60 bowl games you have. That season's like a month and a half long, it feels like. Because you
Yep.
have
Yeah.
like, we're gonna go hang out at Bucky's house bowl, or the missus playing Fortnite tonight bowl up
Yeah.
there, and you're like, oh geez. Like, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all
Your
right. The
individual
pig.
7-Eleven sponsors
Yeah.
this bowl game, kind of a
Yeah.
like, okay.
There's a
Thank
Pop Tarts Bowl. There's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso. So,
Mhm.
that's how bad it is. Um, so bad even tax companies, tax Slayer, tax people, software ends up sponsoring bowls.
Right.
Well, we got Arkansas at Mississippi State. This
West
might be a game. Exactly. Yes, exactly. We've joked about the toilet bowl. They should take the two worst teams, and put them in
Put
the
them in,
in
like, the
a game
Kohler
called Toilet Bowl.
Kohler toilet bowl or something.
There you
Yeah.
go. That works. Have them embrace it. Well, the pigs in Arkansas, the pigs in Mississippi State meet. Of course, their pigs are on the road to Starkville with all the cowbells. Mississippi State win. Arkansas
Snooze.
actually leads this series 18-15 with one tie.
Snooze.
So, snooze. I know they can't make it sound any better. Both teams' largest margin of victory over the other is 52-6. Currently, Mississippi State's won two games in this series. So, next, this is really a bad weekend. There's two intriguing matchups coming up because the next one is Missouri at Alabama, folks. This is one I just
I'm not gonna
I
watch
know.
it, but you
Yeah,
know who I'm rooting for on this one.
Missouri has
Oh,
obviously.
yes. Oh, yes. I would love
Yeah.
to see Alabama go down 3 weeks in a row.
Well, these teams have only met seven times. Alabama has a five-game win streak dating back to 2020, from 1978 to 2020. Um, let's see. Yeah, the first time they played in Jacksonville in 1968 in the Gator Bowl, 35 to
Oh,
10. The good old Erector Set Gator Bowl. Let's see. And then let's see. They played once in the SEC championship game where Alabama won 42-13 in 2014. But like I said, in the last five games, uh, Alabama has won dating back to 1978, 38-20, 42-10, 42-13, 39-10, 38-19. So history's not on Missouri's side with this one.
well, they also don't play a multi-loss Alabama team in those years going into this weekend either. So,
I know.
this is the
I
year to
know.
do it. If they're going to do
Yep.
it, this is the year.
If you're gonna get Bama, this is your year to do that.
Now,
So,
if they're beat by a 21, do they stay ranked with 3 losses?
hmm, I don't think so. I think that they fall out completely this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I would make an argument they have to.
especially with it. This would be a uh, another loss at home. Let's see. So yeah, I especially if they lose this game at home, I think you make them unranked. So
Mhm.
all
Right.
right. Well, the next game I think of the week is more intriguing. Who would have ever thought Vanderbilt would be ranked in this game? No way. That game is on the SEC network.
Yeah. I'm hoping maybe it gets picked up on Fox or something for people not.
Wait, go back up. Go. Sorry, go back up, JT.
Mhm.
Go back up a little bit more. They're going to put Oklahoma. This is part of the frustration about names and numbers. Why the hell does Oklahoma, who can't score against a junior varsity team, you got Texas and Vanderbilt. You got a story, a feel good story. Yeah, Texas should beat the crap out of Vanderbilt, but look, Texas could barely score last week. Vanderbilt is at home. They're up and coming.
Yeah,
Why not put Vanderbilt on at that 12 noon game?
because they think people will pay big for the SEC network. That's a Walt Disney Corporation thing, man.
I just
I don't
that
know what
game.
to tell
This
you.
makes no sense. Why you do not? I can get. I would actually slide Missouri and Alabama to the 12. Put Texas Vanderbilt at 3:30 because it could be a blowout. It really could be, and I think that's what they're banking on. But this could also be the game of the year. Vanderbilt did what nobody thought they could do at home, beating number one Vanderbilt, Alabama. They might be able to hang with Texas. I'm just stunned with
I
this one.
yeah, this is the one game that if I had the time and all that, and it actually were on a TV channel that I get, it doesn't look like it will be. I would watch this game just because of so many question marks and so many unknowns about what would happen. Because Texas did lose last week to Georgia. You never know going on the road. Maybe you have injuries. Maybe people are out sick. I mean, you just don't know. Vandy is a dangerous team. Look, they did beat Alabama. And
Yep.
whenever you have a huge win like that, a lot of
Mhm.
times you lose the next week or you just play terribly the next week after a
Which
big
is
win.
frustrating that they nearly
And they
lost to
did.
Ball State.
And
They
they and
did
they
beat
did.
Kentucky, and they beat Kentucky in a close game. But at least the thing is, they won the game.
If their
Uh,
schedule was any different than what that was, they would have lost the next week, which
mhm.
which would be par for the course for stuff like that. So now they did have that recovery week where they could get their heads back in the game. They the egos come back down to earth. You get healthy again. This could be a trap game for Texas. It could. Now it could just as easily be, a 49-7 final score blowout.
They take out all their frustration from last week. Well, see, I tell you, but you see, Vanderbilt. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start on Vanderbilt side. West KO asks, is Vanderbilt for real per luck? They are for real. I have seen many Vanderbilt teams over the years. They could not complete a 5 yard pass. They had very incompetent quarterbacks. Then they had their defense. Not that they had the best defense in the world with this one, but what the difference with this team is that they have a legitimate offense with Diego Pavia. He can throw and he can run. The transfer to New Mexico State. He is the real. Sadly for them, they only have him for 1 year, and I don't know. Maybe they can use this to truly recruit some players because they lost most of their good players this year in the offseason to bigger schools. But
Now, I ask
hey,
myself,
yeah,
okay, Texas is this big question mark. Could they beat any of the other top five teams? I think they lose to Oregon. I think they lose to
yeah.
Penn State. I think they lose to Ohio State.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
Georgia, they would lose to. Yeah. So
Well, believe it or not, in this series, what? I got to look at this one. Okay, Winspedia.com is like the Wikipedia, but for college football history. Here we
Mhm.
go. So, yes, I do believe Vanderbilt is for real. If they can get wins and be bowl eligible, absolutely. I told the missus if they came here for the bowl game, I'd take her to see it. I don't care what the price is. Uh, this series, they've met 12 times. Vanderbilt, holy shit. You're
Do
not
they
going to
actually
believe
have a
this,
winning
JT.
record? Do
You're
they,
not
do
going to believe
they
this.
really?
Well, not just that. In the lifetime series between these two schools, Vanderbilt has won 8 times, Texas
No,
3 with 1 tie.
no, no. There's
Yes.
no way.
The
There's no
current
way.
win streak, well, you're going to love this. It just gets better. I wish we had 400 people for this one, but hey, you 8 people, and if you're lurkers out there that are not being seen, y'all are going to get a kick out of this one too. Yeah, real. Exactly. Oh, well, you've not heard the best of it. Vanderbilt currently has a 1 game win streak. Okay.
Mhm.
When do you think that game was played?
1998.
Take off 70 years. The
Wait,
last time
what?
these two teams have played was 1928.
What?
Yes.
Okay. Leather helmet
Yes.
days. All right.
Yes, folks. In that game, Vanderbilt won 13-12. That was the 12th time in the series that they've met. Oh, it's getting better, guys. I'll have to read it
Now,
to you in
see,
the show.
I dump stats from before World War II. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I do, but I'm not sorry,
I
actually.
love the history though. I love the history of this though.
Well, that explains
Um,
how they have such a lopsided history with Texas, since it was
yeah.
all, anyway. Yeah, this
Well,
see, this is what I make fun of with Michigan fans for, because they say
mhm.
they're the winningest program, but they count games from like the 19th century. They count
Oh,
games against like
okay, let me keep going
cultural.
then. Let me keep going then. Let me see. I am going to tech. Can you, if I DM you a picture, can you bring it up real quick?
I'll try, sure.
Okay, it'd be faster than or you can pull it from the website. You can see it. But folks, this is almost one that I think people need to see to believe because it's like it's just like oh man. Let's see. All right, let me get this to JT there photos. There we go. There, that one. All right. So see, you can either pull it up there or you can pull it up on
Look at the photo
winpedia.com and pick the
see
two
what I can
teams.
get.
Oh, and like I said, Vanderbilt is there. You go. 1928. They played in Dallas, Texas. Vanderbilt wins 13-12. 1927. Texas wins 13-6. 1926. Vanderbilt wins in Dallas 7-0. 1925 in Nashville, Tennessee. Vanderbilt wins 14-6 at home. 1923, Texas wins 16-0. 1922, Vanderbilt wins 20-10. Wins in 1921, 20-0.
Whoa,
3 years in a row
whoa.
at Dallas. Yeah.
3 years in a row
1906.
without scoring? What? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I keep saying what, but this is
1906 also 45-0 in Nashville. 1905 nothing again. 33-0. Hey, the baseball team broke out on the football field. 1903 in Austin, Texas, 5-5. Of course, then at the turn of the century in 1900, Texas wins 22-0. And the one that started it all between Vanderbilt and Texas, first game ever in 1899 in Nashville, Vanderbilt wins 6-0. And I will repost this comment. Wow, real. That is real, folks.
they haven't played since the Great Depression.
Dude, I just,
But it's all
I,
around this time of year too, plus minus a week.
yeah, yeah. I tell you, I'm not making it up. That's what's crazy. So
Sure.
anyway,
Let's
all
see.
right. Well, we can move off of Texas and Vanderbilt. Who would have ever thought when this season started, I would have taken so much time to, I would have taken so much time to talk about uh, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Texas as much. It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Let me see
All
here. I'm going to
right.
try to bring up the schedule again here for
Yeah, we
week
got
one.
one last. I think was it
We
one
got a
more game?
couple, one or two more,
Okay.
two more games. Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna throw that up there.
All right. You ready?
Yes, go for
All
it.
right. So you're there. Okay. The game of the week, in terms of what's on the field with rankings, LSU travels to College Station. ABC primetime will be the game of the week at 7:30. The Bengal Tigers go and let's see, take on the Aggies. Both are the meeting of the unbeaten's in the SEC, and then we will see what happens with playoff
A&M,
positioning.
please, A&M, please
Uh,
beat Brian
I don't know.
Smalley.
I still like LSU a little bit better. The Texas A&M people annoy me more. It's like a cult. I wish Snortopoulos was still here. He could tell you about that place down there. But in 2020, when everybody else had to isolate, there were only 50% stadiums. They broke the rules and got away with it. And the only person to call him out was the Florida coach Dan Mullen, and he got crucified by his own school. So I
Yeah,
was like, yeah. But hey, again, Garrett Nussmeier is a great quarterback, but he also turns the ball over quite a bit. Uh, Connor Wegman has come back for Texas A&M from injury and has rebounded. I think the freshman playing behind him did so well. He's got his act together, and should be an interesting game between these two teams. You do not want to miss this game.
Brian Kelly does have a tendency to win these late night games under the spotlight.
Yeah, and
So it just
yeah, it gets your goat, but that's what that's what makes it a good coach winning those games like that. You know, so this game has actually been won, even though these two teams have not been in a conference together until the league merger in 2012.
Mhm.
They have met 62 times. LSU has won 36. A&M's won 23 games and with 3 ties. LSU won the last game last year. Largest margin of victory for LSU is 50-7, with the longest 7-game win streak. Largest margin of victory for A&M is 63-9, with 5 games won in a row. This is a series that dates back all the way to 1899 also. Yep, 1899, JT. In that game, LSU went on the road and won 52-0. No, A&M won 52-0. But yep, it's a lot. I'm telling you, it's something, isn't it? So this game for the week, and this could be a high-scoring affair, though. A&M with
Oh,
Wakeman is actually back, found its offense again, and LSU, of course, like scoring points. Yeah,
yeah.
JT.
I was going to say, you really think it'll be a high scoring game, a shootout?
I think it could. I think it should. I mean, LSU, even if it's in the 30s, LSU's defense is still not what it should be. Better than last year, I guess, but still not. If they had this defense with quarterback last year, it could have been national champion. But it's still, this defense has given up a lot. I mean, they did at South Carolina. They gave up a lot of early big plays to South Carolina. Fell behind, had to rally to win. So,
Mhm.
but all right. And one last game in the conference: Auburn Tigers are on the road at Kentucky. Mark Stoops. It'd be interesting to see if he ever went to Florida, what he could do at a program with more resources than Kentucky. But he'd have to promise a modern offense. We've been obliterated with his Billy Napier garbage, fake run, fake pass crap. That's like, I mean, it's like the service. Hey, if I want running all the time, I'll call in the service academies. I'll watch
Right.
Army Navy.
Yeah.
Even they're showing the ability to throw the ball down the field these days. So, but yeah, not much to say with this game, folks. This one's going to be a snooze fest. It is a shame that
Yes.
it's at night at 7:45 on the SEC Network. This is
Yeah, I think what'll happen is this Texas Vandy game, everybody will get their check, go home from the bar, and this game is going to have far
I
to
am
watching.
still. I think that Texas Vanderbilt game should have been. I mean, if the SEC net, if it was condemned to the SEC network, it should have been at Auburn, Kentucky. But ABC did not want it going against the 7:30 game. That discussion came
Mhm.
up last few weeks with Tennessee, specifically the Volunteers. Their game times against Florida, they were stuck at 7 on ESPN. they didn't want them conflicting with some of the other bigger games. That's why they had 3:30 this last week, instead of in the evening, because Texas Georgia got that 7:30 time frame. So, well, with that being said, I think in this game we want to
Should we
talk
do
about.
one
Yeah,
short detour here? Any
well,
big
let
parlay?
me let's
We might.
let's
Oh,
finish one thing real quick. I'm gonna see if I can do picks real quick. You feel free to jump in with me real quick if you want to.
yeah, let's
Go
do it.
back left.
Go back up to the top. Yeah, sorry about that, folks.
Okay,
We're doing this on the fly.
exactly. So hey, I would take Ole Miss at home. Ole Miss. I mean, and then Oklahoma just has no offense. It's just pathetic to watch. I don't know
I
if
do as well.
Hawkins, the freshman, is going to start, or if they're going back to Arnold. I'd say go back to the guy that started the season. Who do you have
I'll
in
take
this one?
I'll take Mississippi of the old variety.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, Arkansas goes on the road at Starkville, Arkansas. Let me check the ranking because all. Let's see, because in this one, the pigs come in. Let's see. I know how I'm going to do it this way. Go to the standings for the SEC. I'll have the rate. I'll have the. I'll have them the records. See, the pigs are coming this game at 4-3 overall. Good season for the pigs. Better than expected. Mississippi State is the bottom of the SEC at 1-6 overall. 0-4 in the conference. But folks, I'm going to take Mississippi State at home. I think Arkansas is vulnerable. I think they're exposed going on the road. I keep wanting to call him Martin Van Buren, but it's the quarterback. Van Buren has started in recent weeks taking over Blake Shapen. Uh, he's put up some very good numbers against Georgia, and again last week. I look for Mississippi State. They've been competitive with everybody. They just can't win the games. So I'm going to go Mississippi State in an upset at home.
Yeah. And I will go with the MSU of the SEC. Let's go
Oh
Mississippi
wow!
State. I for
All
the
right,
same reasons that you already said, I think great minds think alike on this one.
all right. That takes us to the first of our big rank battles. Missouri, 6-1, going on the road, 2-1 in the conference to Alabama, 5-2, 2-2 in the conference. Uh, what do you think, JT? I'll let you go first on this one.
Sure. This has potential to make or break both these team seasons in this game right here. So I think both need to show up ready to play. Whether they do is of course a question mark, but the big question is on Alabama. I think the focus is all on them after losing two in a row. What do they do? Are they able to get their heads, back into the game? Just focus on executing. I don't like them. So I will say that I do not think that's going to happen. I think Missouri will come in and make it happen. So I'm picking the Tigers.
All right. And guess what? I'm going the opposite way. I think
Ooh,
the Tide get
interesting.
healthy at home. I think there's enough noise in the system. Jalen Milroe will get Corey, are you taking Ole Miss or Mississippi State? But he's like Ole Miss and Boo Bama. I agree. I'm saying Boo Bama, but I think Alabama gets home healthy at home. I think they get back on track. I honestly look to this get ugly. Missouri, their last time on the road, well, except no, ignore their trip to Amherst, Massachusetts for Boston, for UMass up there. Forget that. That's not a real road game. Last time they hit the road in the conference at Texas A&M College Station, lost 41-10 right off the bat.
Ooh,
I don't trust Brady Cook. I don't trust this team this year. Alabama's angry and got reasons to show up, and I look at Alabama and actually going away. So, all
okay.
right. All right.
We'll scroll down a bit.
Texas at Vanderbilt.
Would you
What do
like me
you
to go
think?
first?
If you would like to go first,
Sure.
JT.
Let's see. I think this is a Cinderella story, and I love to see those in March Madness unless they're playing the Michigan State Spartans. So I have a place in my heart for Vandy, and I don't like the Longhorns. So I think Vandy will resist being hooked, and I think they'll win by like 3 or less points. I think if they're going to beat a top 5 team, that's the only one to do it. Now, is it a bit of wish casting? Yes, but hey, you don't take any risks, you're never going to win the upsets. So,
Well, you know what? I would say Corey's taking Texas with this one. Feel free, folks, if y'all have opinions, share them with us. Quinn
it's a
Ewers
tough
is still
pick.
coming.
It's a tough pick.
Quinn Ewers is coming back from injury still. I think we saw the last 2 weeks he's kind of struggled.
Mhm.
And of course, this last week he definitely struggled. But you know, the like I said earlier, I do like the times when you sit your quarterback, but it has to be done in the right situation with the right quarterback. Nico for Tennessee was so young and so new. I thought it was a situation to sit him to let him look and watch. What Texas did last week, I thought was there's already enough bullshit about Arch Manning being on the bench. Even the Dr. Pepper commercials Quinn Ewers is picking at it. Have you seen that one?
I haven't.
It's like the sheriff says, "Well, call for backup, deputy," and he's like, "We don't need no backup. I didn't need backup before," and all that. And so, and then there's a little thing about a guy's family's name and stuff in the commercial. It's like, yeah, there's enough smoke with the Manning there and
Mhm.
pressure to play him early. Um, Even then, he's it struggled in some of the recent games. It just it really struggled in the Georgia game, even though statistically it looked okay. I'm kind of like you. I just, it's not often I get the chance. Okay, Wes Cagle asked if Vanderbilt's for real or is pure luck. I will, because I think Vanderbilt's for real, I'll pick Vanderbilt in this game. I think Diego
Oh, yeah.
Pavia has the ability to move a team. I had to watch him at first because I thought, look at some hokey guy from that played at New Mexico State ever do against the SEC teams. But this kid's been real. He's thrown the ball. He's run it. He carried his team against Alabama. They played at home. They did, like I said, 2 losses. One at Georgia State, which you can't forgive, but then the one loss at Missouri, a top 10 ranked team, also, and it took them to overtime. So with Texas with its vulnerabilities, Texas with a lack of running game. Let me look at one thing too real quick with Texas on that because there is a number I wanted to see with Texas in the game last week with Georgia. Um, because Texas actually, and I think people have lost sight of this, Texas had like in the, before the season started, lost like the top 3 running backs.
Hmm.
So there's some question if they could even run the football. Yeah, against Georgia, they ran the ball for 29 yards.
That's awful. My goodness.
Yeah, on 27 carries. So, not again, not that Vanderbilt's the greatest defense,
That's a
but
serious weakness,
actually,
though.
yeah. So but let's see, let's see. Well, they did run the ball good against Oklahoma pretty well, but then again, Oklahoma, a lot of that I think happened as the game went on. But I'll take Vanderbilt this time because I believe that they're for real.
Cool.
All right, takes us to LSU at Texas A&M. I will take the Bengal Tigers on the road. They will survive the raucousness that's College Station, but I would not be surprised to see Texas A&M win this game. I think they're for real too. So, but I'll give a shout out for our friend Brogu and go with the Bengal Tigers on this one.
Yeah, as will I. I'm going to have to hold my nose and pick LSU on this one as much as I don't want Brian Kelly to win anything. I think they've got what it takes, and especially the
Yeah.
coach having the discipline of those late night primetime games is
Mhm.
huge. So I do think this is a win. I think once Brian Kelly wins this game, there hopefully discussion about him leaving is kind of quiets down a bit because I think this is a high profile enough game. It puts the school on the map enough to you know
Well,
put
one
that
of the schools
conversation
that
away.
his name's been. You know what one of the schools' names have been that he's been mentioned with.
Let's see, Florida.
Florida. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Florida's one. It's just amazing how already after 2 or 3 years that it's even. I'm like, why do you get rid of a coach? See, I think sometimes it's fitting into the Southern culture and the people. I think that's what we're seeing with Alabama with the guy from Washington coming down is,
Hmm.
it's always impossible to replace somebody like Satan. I mean Saban, but especially for a Yankee to come down south. Uh, there was a guy that was a Penn State assistant coach who came down, Moorhead, Joe Moorhead, and he was at Mississippi State. He lasted a year, maybe year and a half, and they fired him pretty dang quickly because he didn't fit in Starkville. You'd see, I thought Brian Kelly and LSU would be a strange fit. I never saw that one lasting mutually for very long. But this
Right.
whole Alabama situation, it's like that's insane. I mean, hey, it wasn't like you guys didn't score anything like Napier did to our team, where he just neutered the whole offense when he came in. But so, all right, so that's our game. So we got one last game of the week. Yeah, I'll let you have the pain of picking
Yeah. You hear
first.
me sighing on the other side.
Yeah,
Oh gosh. David, pick a number 1 through 6.
6.
Okay. That's Kentucky. Kentucky's
All
gonna win.
right. I wonder what Corey Cochran thinks with this game. So, because he talked about that other game when Texas ran a yard to try. So, Corey take his home state, Kentucky Wildcats or the Auburn Tigers. See, I would want to take Peyton Thorne, but he's Peyton Thorne. He keeps giving the games away, or they don't score enough at the end when they need to. Whether it's Oklahoma, I mean,
He
look at
he could
Auburn's
have stayed at
losses.
Michigan State. Could have.
I mean, yeah, but didn't he get a nice NIL deal or something?
I don't know.
Oh.
But we won't be hearing about him in the NFL. That's all we can
No,
So
I actually one YouTuber said he's condemned to uh, car sales or insurance salesman.
pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
car sales or insurance salesman. Yeah, that's too funny. I'm trying to let's
Corey
see, because
Cochran
I'm
says Auburn win in a blowout.
whoa. I know Auburn winning a blowout. Oh no, he's not going with Kentucky. So, well, I will tell you though, they've Auburn scored 17 against Missouri, 13 against Georgia, 21 against Oklahoma, 14 against the Pigs, 19. Wow. Yeah, I
Now
think
the real
even
question
Kentucky.
is Corey Cochran going to stay awake to
Yeah.
watch the end of that game?
No, that's actually this the SEC equivalent of Northwestern and Iowa.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, exactly. Our friend Whoopa Troop always talked
Or
about Iowa and
Nebraska and
Kentucky
Iowa.
playing. Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
tell you what, I will say they won't let Brock Vandergrift throw the ball away. They'll run the ball enough, or Auburn will find a way to turn the ball at the end. But I look for Kentucky to win this game. So, oh, he said,
Okay.
I don't go with UK on football or basketball. The other team, yeah, sure. Well, see, I was surprised. I picked Kentucky. Actually, no, I did have one wrong this week at least because I picked the Kentucky to beat Florida. I figured Napier wouldn't have the guys ready again. I thought that they would fall flat on their face, at home like they've done to Kentucky before.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it just, you just you shake your head of what it is. So,
Right.
but hey, all right, folks. Well, that's about it we got tonight. 9 people still with us. Thank y'all for being here tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, and JT want to take a detour. What do you want? Oh, there's
Yep.
West Cagle
So
State University of New Jersey.
Rutgers Central High School will be playing at USC 11 p.m. on a Friday night.
Wow.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? I okay, yeah,
See, I
you can
don't
play it on
understand
Fox.
that. What
Is
do they put it? See, I was noticing that the last few weeks with one of the things I have not liked with the Big Ten Pac-12 merger. Well, it's not really a merger, but
hostile
there,
takeover
there,
and
there
then
are no more 11 o'clock games. There are no more 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock games. There's
mhm,
usually maybe only one or two if you got a Utah or a Hawaii playing at home. But I mean, like the other night, there were only like 4 games on at 11 o'clock or midnight. One of the things that I always did, the missus had me set up from 12 noon to 2 a.m. with 4 TVs. It was amazing. Hell, Dave C. Good to see you, Dave. How are you tonight? But yeah, I mean, this is a topic you and I've been talking about for a while.
Right.
Network
Right.
games at 11 o'clock. Like I said, I love it on Saturday because I miss having Saturday night football. But Friday night is high school night.
Yep. Yep. Or you're going to bed, getting ready to pack up for the tailgate to go to the game the next day, right? Because this market is meant for the New York market and the California market. Okay. Well, they have a whole full slate of other teams that they can go watch.
They got a World
Okay.
Series.
Yeah.
The,
Pretty much,
yeah, I mean,
right?
oh,
Well,
I
I know
think the World
Rutgers is
Series
New
starts
Jersey,
Friday.
but Rutgers
That's
is New
why. That's
Jersey,
why the
right? But
game's at 11 JT because I think Game One of the World Series is on Friday on Fox.
oh, okay.
That's why they hit 11 o'clock because I remember the other seeing World Series advertised for Friday, and then I'm like thinking, well, I guess they're skipping Big Ten football. Well, doesn't look like it. They're just going to move it to the West Coast and put it on really, really late.
Right, right. Now
And of
most of the
course, we
rest of
turn
these,
right around and start at 12 noon Eastern.
yes, yep. You don't even get 8 hours of sleep if you wanted to watch both those games. Now the rest of these, I don't really think anyone is going to mind skipping past.
Yeah,
The only one that I wanted to bring up was this one at the bottom because
yeah,
if we had been under different circumstances, and I understand we're doing what we're doing here, Michigan State at Michigan, 7:30
yeah.
p.m. on
The
the
Big Ten
goodness
Network.
blessed Big Ten Network.
Who the hell has the Big Ten Network? I pay for services and streaming services. I don't think I even have the Big Ten.
Right, right. And I don't, who in California's got the Big Ten Network right now? I go on a rant for an hour and I won't because we want to get out of here at a good time. But
Yeah,
this is the biggest game of the year for both these teams. Don't listen to what
and it gets
Michigan says
stuck.
that Ohio State's their rival. This is the big game of the year for the state of Michigan, and it gets stuck at 7:30 at night on the Big Ten Network.
And go back up just to here. Let me see the earlier games.
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah,
So you have
yeah.
Nebraska at
Once again, we got
that's
to
an
watch
Ohio
freaking
State.
Ohio State. Well, I put
Yep.
Ohio State hosting Nebraska at 12 noon. Why not have Michigan State as a rivalry game? Because everybody knows Nebraska couldn't even
Mhm.
play with friggin' Indiana last week. So you stick them at number 4, Ohio State. Ohio State played another home game. It seems like they play every game at home, but
They pretty much do. I
why
mean,
not? Why
yeah.
not put the in-state rivalry on at noon or even 3:30? Just give people
Yeah,
something.
so yeah. So then you look at 3:30, you have 20 Illinois at 1 Oregon, I guess, on CBS. Then you have a nothing game at 3:30,
Let's go Illini.
Northwestern and Iowa.
Oh God,
Um,
dude,
then
that's so painful.
Maryland at Minnesota on
Northwestern
Fox Sports
Iowa,
1.
Maryland, Minnesota. Oh my God, that's just painful hearing those teams and state names.
Then
It's
Penn
like,
State at Wisconsin. So let me just point this out, okay? To
yeah,
watch this slate of games, you have
hmm
to go to Fox, Big Ten
yep,
Network, Paramount Plus,
or
Fox
CBS. It's
Sports
on CBS
1,
Network too.
only in select markets. Yeah.
Oh,
Fox
okay.
Sports 1, Peacock. So you have to have five different networks, five different networks to watch one week of games. And
Which I
keep in
say is
mind,
an advantage for the SEC though, because SEC all going through ABC,
yep.
ESPN/ABC. I can get all with the ESPN app thing. I can get the SEC network and ESPN and ABC. So, like as an SEC fan, I've got everything covered. I can watch everything I need to or want to,
And I say,
and
you
just
know
have
what?
one group of one package.
People are saying the hell with it because they don't want to pay $150 a month to get the package that has Big Ten Network and Fox Sports One, and then turn around and have to buy Peacock and Paramount Plus
Yeah,
separately. Like
yeah,
just in they're selling out the fans, they're pissing off the fans by making them have to go and buy this stuff. And so
Yeah,
people are just saying, well, I guess I'm just not watching the game this week.
yeah. See,
Sorry,
I've had
guys.
to get
I'm
the
going to go do
Sling.
something
I've
else.
gotten Sling TV because we chose to do that. But I did add the Orange and Blue, which has the ESPN packages, including SEC Network. But I do not
But
have
you still don't
Paramount.
have Paramount Plus or
I
Peacock
don't.
included in
I don't
that,
have.
right?
Nope, they're not. They're separate deals. And honestly, I'll take my chance on if they're on the over the air network, its
Hmm.
local CBS affiliate or the local NBC affiliate, which apparently I learned the hard way in some places in the country. See, like with where we're located, we can get all of our network affiliates with the over the air antenna thing.
I can do that here.
So
I
we
Mhm.
kind of have. There could be dates based on the weather. One of our stations, it's a little further, has a few issues, but I learned in the last few months, and you were explaining to me, JT, in a state like where you are, not everybody can just get all the networks with the antenna.
Right, right. Like Bucky can't. There's no way Bucky can. And so I get Fox, NBC, ABC, or CBS. Or the CW. I
Right.
guess
But
games
I
have been
know
on there
people up in your
randomly.
area though that don't get all those. They could barely get
Mhm.
ABC, it seemed like. And I didn't think that
Right.
was possible. I thought every local, like every moderate mid-sized town had their own affiliate where you could be able to get some signal from a local station to watch some of the games. And honestly, to your point though, you don't if you can get the networks, you can get enough TV to enough football games to watch. I've
Right.
noticed that this year with more the new contracts, even though they moved leagues around, there's more football offered on TV free than in past years.
Right. Right. But at 7:30, I forgot who was playing the SEC game at 7:30.
Yeah,
But screw it. I might just watch Penn State at Wisconsin at 7:30. But anyway,
that's
this
better off because remember
Michigan State was the
it's
big game.
Kentucky Auburn. Don't forget.
Um yeah, I was gonna say let's go
Yeah.
back and look who's in that
ABC
nighttime time slot.
ABC game is at LSU Texas A&M though.
Yep,
Yep,
that's who's gonna be on ABC on my area. I guarantee it.
yep.
I guarantee it.
Of course, I remember the old days where ABC had regional coverages, like like in the South down here. We always got the ACC every friggin' time, even if the Texas and the Western teams had a good matchups, or even if there's a good Big Ten. Nope, we got FSU or Clemson. Woo!
Hmm. Well, and
So
and so I guess my whole point is like it might sound like I'm just being a big crybaby on this. No, I don't want to have to go to a bar every single week. And just buying an expensive luxury cable package is not enough. You have to start buying apps. Then you have to make sure the app is logged in before, it's like if
um,
you're trying to have a party with people coming over, you got to make sure you got all these apps going and
mhm.
it,
Oh,
it
and I'm having trouble.
infuriates me.
I had to delete my ESPN app. I got to figure out how to put it back on. Actually, I loaded it back on. I got to sign back in later with the missus. I got to get the password. But the thing is the last couple weeks I go to watch a game and it plays to the commercial and then it'll play like about 10 to 20 seconds of the game. Then it will go just stop. The app closes on its own.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'm like, what? It's
Or
ridiculous.
it's like trying to watch Amazon Prime on a Thursday night
Uh-huh.
and you have gigabit internet like I do and you have Amazon Prime. So that should be all you need. Do you think you're going to get the game in 4K? No. Do you get the game in 1080 regular HD? No, you don't. You get some super compressed 720p stream and it's like this is what I'm forced to watch the game.
Yep.
Like this is crap. I'm sorry, this is crap. Like how this is in no way a step forward. What it is the school gets more money by hoeing itself out to all these different networks every week at the expense of fan enjoyment. And ultimately, if your team is not winning every single game, heck with it. I'm not buying Paramount Plus to watch a 4-5 Michigan State team. You kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh,
you're just gonna lose my view. And enough other people are going to do that I'm hoping that this doesn't continue out into the future.
I understand. All
So
right. Well, one thing that
anyway.
I want to say tonight, though, the one thing I wanted to say tonight that I forgot to earlier is the University of Florida. I see it's going to have screwed around to the point where they will have lost their chance of firing Billy Napier, and we're going to end up with a coach that's going to keep us in mediocrity for the long-term future.
Oh,
I just,
for sure. For
I
sure.
mean, that's why it's like, the, it's like one of the philosophies I've had around my family and talked about with my mom and stuff at times is like, you had a chance to fire your pastor, fire them. Pastors and coaches. It's if you get a chance to let them go, you better let them go because obviously there's usually something somewhere in there. And Corey said he not sat down and viewed TV in 2 years at home, all DVD, movies, show, YouTube. Yeah, that's what I've done a lot of. That's what I've done a lot of
Right.
too. But
Right.
I'm starting to get a little more selective on my YouTube though.
Well, and I'm nearing up around 40 myself. People
Hmm.
my age do not buy cable TV.
Yeah,
We just do not. So um forcing it out on these other things, it's like, okay, you're losing your younger audience.
yeah. Well, the missus doesn't either. She'll get to YouTube or other things. Now she will do some of the streaming things though, but not like the network, like the Paramounts and things like that. No,
Mhm.
what she'll do is she'll go like she likes the Asian programming, like Vicky Ratatan and some of those other ones. Or if you're an anime Crunchyroll, it'll be like niche type streaming
Sure.
where it's something that is of an interest to you, where you really like it, and not just like you're subject to whatever slop they decide to throw on. Because that's like you with Sling TV. One thing is you're subject to whatever the random programming is. You know, many times you
Mhm.
don't find much of anything, but it's been the best way I found to be able to watch all the games that I want to. So I gotta have a vice. I gotta have something, and it's college football. So, and I hope to have a lot more of y'all back with us tonight. Thanks for having everybody here. Also, of course, some newbies, Erica. Uh, Earlier, they were going to bed. Hope they can make it back. Time to teach some more football, and of course, Southern Bell. And hopefully, you got to hear a little bit of the Rocky Top stuff because we love our Vol fans down here. And thank you everybody. Snort Poopas, Corey, Wes Cagle was in here for quite a while, having fun with us. Yeah, I'm waiting for you and him in Penn State. That'd be too funny. Uh, I know Lemon Pie. The Missus was here. Corey Cochran. Let's see if I don't. Hope I don't miss anybody going back. But it's hanging with Erica and Raf. At was here. Rylan Harris was here. So I think let's miss everybody tonight. Kronos was in here for a bit. So, but thanks for coming and for everybody that we're able to say we got 10 people still hanging out with us. Make sure you smash that like button. Hey, Brogu. Hey, JT. Can you do me a real favor? A second, real favor. Can you put the
Sure.
Mrs. link in? So,
On it.
Brogu, good to see you. Hey, we talked about your great LSU Tigers. Uh, one of the only two undefeated teams in the conference from conference games. That is, of course, number 8 this week go on the road to College Station to play Texas A&M. And I took LSU on the road. JT, did you took A&M, right?
I took LSU as well.
Oh, you took LSU. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So hey, yeah, but Brogu, you guys got the gunslinger Garrett Nussmeyer. Even though he throws a lot of interceptions, you keep winning. So hey, that's what's really really good. What are you? I'm sure I'm not. Corey's saying he was not here. So, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. You guys got it. We probably will not have a live show this Saturday night unless I have a great reception and something happens positively. So we'll see. If not, try to get back to that next week. But appreciate
I may be
JT being
too
here.
upset if Michigan State's losing anyway. So
Uh, Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, this is how bad Michigan was. They had to go to Jack Tuttle now as the starting quarterback to have somebody that could throw the football.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, throw the football to their own teammates, not to the other guys. So,
Right.
so make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And of course, JT put the link in here. Make sure to support Mrs. Deb's channel here. She will not be doing her morning muses the next few mornings. There's a possibility if she feels like it, we may do a car stream or something else. But it's going to be a time for relaxation. So But make sure you go check her channel out, watch the replays, hit the like, subscribe. She's only got 234 more viewers to subscribers to get to 500. Yay! And of course, go Tigers! And that funky spelling. All right, well, JT, any other thoughts? Well, we've got still 11 people here with us, but any last thoughts, JT?
No, other than Michigan State, and this is the big week, so go green.
All right, folks. It's a big off week for Florida. Next week will be Florida, Georgia. Both teams are off, so uh, good luck to the Texas A&M and LSU, and go Vandy. Let's see if he can knock off another big dog at home this week. On that note, bye all. Go Doors.